Okay, yeah. Let us start with the uh, unsupervised classification. And before we are going towards the unsupervised learning, first we have just go through the basics of the machine learning, what we have covered in ST1. And the the machine learning, one second, just hold for a second. Yes, as we know that the machine learning is a building machine that can adapt and learn from the experience without being explicitly programmed. And this is a learning model. And as you can see that there is a learning model which require the training data to teach the algorithm, and the algorithm learns and draws the interferences from the training data set and generates the model. This one is a generates the model, and here you can see that it is very clear from this figure. And here you can see that there is a learning algorithm is there which learns from the input data set, which learns from the input or a training data set. And this one is your input, which is actually provided to the model. And on the basis of the learning and on the basis of the training data, it will provides the output. So this is a basic model of the machine learning, in which there is a model and the learning algorithm is there, and some training samples are there in case of a supervised classifier or non-parametric methods. And just we have to apply the input and we will get the output. So this is a machine learning which learns from the experience. So this is a basic introductions. And we have done this supervised classifier in ST1, and in ST2 we will cover the unsupervised learning and as well as the reinforcement learning. And as we know that the supervised learning, which requires the training data set, which require the training data set to learn the algorithm, and unsupervised does not require the training data set to learn the algorithm. And in the reinforcement learning, which is a little bit separate from the supervised and the unsupervised, but it learns from the uh, it is basically on the basis of some environmental conditions that we have. If you want to just cover up in details, then you can just go through the second or third slides, uh, second or third PPT. And this is a supervised classification. Then we have already covered this part, and in this there is a requirement of a training data set to label the data set. And there is a yes, there is a training data, and which is provided to the learning algorithm. And there is a input values here which is represented by X, and your output will be Y. And the learning algorithm generates a model, and this one is actually a model which is generated by your learning algorithm. So, and the new dataset consists of only the input value is fed, and the model then generates the target value based on its learning. And that is a very clear about it. And we have this is supervised learning, and the examples we have covered in a supervised learning. We have covered a lot of examples, but there is some very simple example is there. If you have a alternate mail is there. For example, you have received four mails, and from uh, from A, from B, and from C. C and from D person. And if you want to make it spam, then you have to just recorded mail one as a spam, and rest you have to accept all these mails. You means you are accepting the mails from the B user, C user, and the D user. So this is a kind of a spam filtering, which falls under the supervised learning. And as we know that the supervised learning is divided into the two parts. There is a first one is a regression, and another one is a classification. The regression is a target variable that has a continuous value. And on the other hand, there is a target variable that has discrete values such as yes or no. Is it a family car or not a family car? That kind of examples. And this is a regression. Okay. Under the regression, there is a best example is a house price prediction. Then, for example, there is a some plot is there. There is a y is there, and there is a x is there, and kind of you can assume the x is a price and y is a size of the plot. So you can just please understand this. This is a y is a size and x is the price. And here you can see that as the size is increasing, the price is also increasing. So you can guess here if your size of a home is there, then you can just predict the price. So that is a kind of a house prediction algorithm works. And on the other hand, there is a classification is there. Classification which is we have already covered in details, and here we will not cover this up. And but yes, we have already covered this spam filtering and as well as the credit scoring. And what is the credit scoring? As you know that it depends on your monthly repayment of your credit. And yeah, if you want to, there is a some space is there. Then, for example, there are some points are there, and some of these values are there. Then you can just put the classification, which will tell you, and you have to just make some decision rules. And for example, this one is a x and this one is a y. This is a 10 and this is also a 10. If your x is greater than 10 and if your x is greater than 10 and y is less than 10, then you are getting this class, which means x class. And if your x is less than 10 and the y is greater than 10, then you will get this kind of information. And hopefully you are able to get my point. uh, there is a zero, yeah, this kind of a symbol is there, and x is there, this is a x like this, and this is separated by, if you want to write the operation, then you can simply write it as a if x is greater than 10, and you can just put it here and operation, and your y is less than 10. So this is an actual operation of this symbol. And if you want to get this symbol, and there is a just you can write it here. There is if your x is less than 10, and if your x is less than 10 and the y is greater than 10, then you will get this kind of information. So this is a very simple rules that we have already covered in a classification, and we will do regression in after the unsupervised classification. And till then, we will just focus towards the unsupervised learning. And yes, in unsupervised learning, the training data set is an unlabeled data set. There is no any training data provided to the learning algorithms. And in other words, we can also say that the training data set contains only the input values and but not the target values. And this one, because this is unexpected. What's fall under this cluster? We are just unknown to the result. And what falls under cluster 3 or cluster 2? These all are question mark for the user. But at the end, we can easily uh, we can easily uh, we can say that we can arrange them very easily on the basis of the similarity between the data, and draws the interference from the data and finding the patterns or clusters. And these are kind of these are referred to as the clusters of patterns. And here you can see that. For example, in an input, we have just give an image which includes the positive symbols are there, and some negative symbols are there, and some multiplication symbols are there. So you can just take it as an example, and at the end you will get uh, plus here, plus here, and you will get the minus symbol here, and you will get multiplication symbol here. So that is a general concept of unsupervised learning. It can just arrange all the values, all the mixed values. These are there is a mixed images there, which includes the positive signs, negative signs, and the multiplication signs are there. And the unsupervised simply uh, m- just simply arrange the different values, or we can say that it separate the all the symbols. So it is very easy for the unsupervised learning, but at the end we have to give the label. You just have to understand that in a supervised learning, we just give the label while inputting the data. But in unsupervised learning, we will label the data at the output. Now we can just we can say that this one is a summation symbol, and this one is a subtract symbol, and this one is your multiplication symbol. So at the end, we can just give them label to make the data some to make the data some sensibility. And now, what is a clustering? That is a part of unsupervised learning, and we know that we are just dividing each and every category into the different clusters. Now we have to just understand about that. What is a clustering? The goal of clustering is to group the data points, and these are generally referred to as data points. This one is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and there is a location. There is a specific location for the each data point is there. So the goal of the clustering is to group the data that are close or similar. And here you can see that these are just close. But yes, if I will put this up there, for example, this one is a minus is there, and this one is a plus is there. So these are, I'm just differentiating on the basis of the similarity. So the plus symbol is there, and there is a okay, you can just assume it as a multiplication is there. So on the basis of the closeness, you can cluster which is already there, and you can also cluster on the basis of the similarity. And here you can see that there are the different symbols. There is a minus, minus, minus. They all are clustered together. And in this case, in this case, the multiplication, summation signs are grouping together. And now there is a two questions which is related to the clustering and how we can define the similarity. So this is a one question. Then how we can solve this point, and how we can define the similarity. If, for example, this one is a minus, then how we can identify that the another one is also minus, and how it is how the this summation sign is different from the subtract sign. So that is kind of a similarity. We have to identify that, and how many iterations for checking the cluster quality. So that is another important point, which is quality concern or a validation concern, and that we will cover in the upcoming slides. Now, what are the different examples of the unsupervised learning? Now, in this case, in a first example, that includes the grouping of people of similar sizes together to make the small, medium, and the large t-shirts. So, what gonna do? If the tailor made for each person, then it is a too expensive. Basically, what is the benefit of this doing this concept? If are tailor made for the each person, then it is going to be too expensive. And if he will just put the one size that fits to all, then it doesn't fit to all. So in order to solve these requirements, there are some clusters are there. There is a small cluster is there, there is a medium cluster is there, then a large cluster is there, and so on. There is XL, double XL clusters are there. So that kind of information we have to just click from the group of people and do the marking of sizes. And yes, the another example that involves in an unsupervised uh, classification. Yes, and that is a part of a marketing in which customers segment customers according to their similarities. Now, in this case, and here you can see that in this figure, for example, these two people, or yeah, these two people are uh, interested to buy the you can say that what kind of example we can just give it to you. Okay, you can just assume that this kind of a people, they are just like the Adidas brand. There is a I can just you can just remember here, there is a Adidas brand, and there is a and these kind of a people, they are just like the uh, or you can just say that these kind of a people, they are liking the size of a uh, Adidas company, uh, Adidas branding sizes. And these kind of a people, they are interesting, or they are just like the branding of Nike. You can just assume it as a Nike, and they like the size of the Nike. And another one, these are like the you can assume it as a Puma. They are like the size of Puma, and these kind of clustering, or this kind of segmentation you can do what kind of on the basis of their likeness. So this is just a one example, and you can just create any other example according to your requirement. And now, what is the type of clustering? So this is another important part, and which divides the clustering. And as we know that the task of grouping a set of data points is referred to as a clustering. That data points in which data points in the same groups are more similar to the each other than the data points in the another group. And here we can just see out there is a different groups are there, and they are grouping together, or these are data points are grouping together on the basis of their similarity. And it groups the data instances that are similar. Okay, there is a 2 points are there that are similar to each other, or we can say that the near to each other in a one cluster, and the data that are very different from each other into the different clusters. Now, basically, you have to remember these two terms, that is a near and the far. And here you can see that if I will check it out, this figure, and just we can cluster out the near. We can just cluster out the uh, on the basis of the closeness. But yes, we can here, we have also done this part, and we have also done this part again there. Now, according to there is a point. Now, how you can just put it into this cluster? For example, this one is a one cluster, this one is a two cluster, and this one is third cluster, and this one is your fourth cluster. Then, how are you gonna decide that this point will fall under two or one? So it is definitely it is little bit closer to the little bit closer to the cluster one, as well as near to the cluster 2. So on the basis of the minimum distance in in cluster 2 as compared to the cluster 1. So that's why this one is assigned to the cluster 2. So there may be possibility this may be a incorrect value. There may be a possibility that we can do it on an in a validation part. So we can do this. There is a near and far concept is there, and yes, there are some models are there of clustering. That is a k-mean and the fuzzy c-mean. Then yes, agglomerative and decisive clustering, and which is a part of the hierarchical clustering, and then probabilistic clustering that is actually a mixture of the Gaussian. So in our syllabus, there are two type of clustering is there. That is the first one is exclusive, which actually includes the k-mean, and another one is a hierarchical clustering that we will do in a upcoming slides or in upcoming classes. So just wait for a minute. Yes, in this figure, you can just differentiate between the what is the difference between classification and the clustering, and you just have to first analyze it. And till then, I will activate the Google Forms, so you can just mark your attendance. And after this slide, we're gonna just take your attendance, and then we will just handle queries regarding the ST1. So just wait for a minute. Yes, first tell me. Okay, am I audible to you? Yes, am I audible to you all? Just please write on a yes on a chat box. Okay, thanks, Ajay. Uh, yes, yes. In this slide, we can just check it out. Though, what is the difference between what is the difference between classification and the clustering? Yes, as you know that in a classification we have done the separation between the uh, two classes, and for example there is a one class is there and the another class is there, and we can just separate out by making the line in between the by making line in between the two classes, and which is little bit easy and more accurate. And in case of a clustering, and here you can see that the clusters are just defined in this kind of a format. Now, we have to understand that what are the advantages and disadvantages of classification, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of the clustering. And we will cover this part in upcoming lectures, and so that you will able to understand what is the actual difference or what is the advantages of the clustering as compared to the classifications, and what are the advantages of the classification as compared to the clustering. So till now, we can say that the classification is better, and in a which context the clustering is better, that we will going to do in upcoming slides. And yes, if there is any question related to this, is a basic introduction to the unsupervised classification, so that you are able to understand that what is a supervised classification and what is a unsupervised classification, and how we can differentiate between them, and what are the different examples uh, of unsupervised classifications, and how we can define unsupervised clustering. So these kind of questions that we today we have handled. And yes, if there is any question regarding the basic knowledge about the what is a unsupervised classification, then you can just please write it on a chat box. And till then, you can also mark your attendance at the given links, and these links are active for the limited time. Just please mark your attendance, and after the attendance, we will handle the queries regarding the ST1. Yes, once you have marked your attendance, please confirm me. Or those who have any doubt in unsupervised classification, basic introduction, then you can please write it on a chat box. Yes, please. If you have any question regarding the unsupervised classification, then please ask me on a chat box. Otherwise, I will handle the queries regarding the ST1. Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. Yes. Please tell me if there is a any query regarding the ST1. Then you can please ask, or you can write it on a chat box, so that we can handle it out. Okay, that's fine. You all have marked your attendance. Now, let me know if you have any query regarding the ST, then you can just ask me, or otherwise. Yes, please let me know if you have any question. Okay, please let me know who has scored less than 30 marks. Okay, you no no. Oh, okay, sorry. You may be not aware about your marks. So okay, till then, yes. There are some questions, and I will just handle the questions of 2 marks, and hopefully you don't have any problem in attempting the in a 1 mark question. And the same questions you can expect in a ST2 as well as in a ST1. And here we can see that there is a first question, there is which is a part of a yeah 2 mark question, and which is a part of a hopefully my screen is visible to you all. Yeah. Yes. This we can do it with the help of this figure. There is a 20. Okay. First, we will try to solve this one. There is a in learning a class, the point where class is class C is okay. Hopefully, you know about the what is a C and H, and if the C H is a hypothesis, and you just have to remember it here while learning a class. What we are talking about the C and H, these two terms are related to the class and the hypothesis. So you have to tell me about what is the value of C and H, which is actually referred to as a false negative. So, according to there are 4 options are there, and the exact answer is when the class is 1. When the class is C is 1 and H is 0, then you will get false negative. So, there is a first point, and there is a second question is there. There are in a figure, in a given figure, there are some options fields are given to you. There is a one field is there, second field is there, third field is third field is there, and the fourth one is there. Yeah, and you just have to tell me in a sequential order what is this first field is called, and what is the second field is called, and third field and the fourth field, and your exact answer is. And just I will remove all the okay, okay, Himanshu Kapoor. Yes, Himanshu Kapoor, are you there? Yes, Himanshu, are you there? Okay, leave it. Okay, in this part, you just have to define, and the exact answer of this question is a margin special hypothesis. This one is referred to as a first one. That is defining the this doubtful case, as we know that. And this one is actually referred to as a margin, and this the hidden. You can see that the hidden line, which one is actually referred to as a special hypothesis, and the third case, which is referred to as a class, and this one is a specific hypothesis. So, sorry, this one is referred to as a general hypothesis. So, okay, okay, am I wrong? Little bit wrong. Okay, the first case, just we have to use. Okay, I can't use the mark. Okay, let me. Okay, I, hopefully I can use a marker. Okay, I can't use a marker here, but yes, I can use. Okay, the first one is a one. This one is actually referred to as a doubt case, and this one is a margin, and this first one is very clear to you all, and this one is referred to as a class. which is represented by the solid line. Now the hidden line actually representing the hypothesis, and this one is there, and the second hidden line is there. Now you have to define the which one is a specific hypothesis and which one is a general hypothesis. And this one is actually referred to as a general hypothesis, and this one is referred to as a specific hypothesis. So which is very congested. You just have to check it out here. And in a third case, this one, in a sport vector machine, if the points existing at this point, what will be the sport vectors? And let me check it now. If there is any, yeah, there is no any. Yes, you can do it with the very easily with the help of, and this is a part of a sport vector machine. Yeah. Sir, it's general hypothesis. Yes, fine. Okay, Aarti, you have asked me this question. Now, hopefully, Aarti, you are clear with it and you have a right answer. And we are just going to check it out here. What are the actual values there we have covered. Now, hopefully, you all have solved this question. And if you have any doubt, then you can just please ask me in a chat box. And there is a question in yeah, there is a question which is given to you in a sport vector machine. If the points existing at a plus 2a plus w naught, which is equal to the minus 1, and this one is a there is a minus 1, and this another part is there, then you just have to tell me the weight vectors. Okay, sport vectors, sorry. The weight vectors are given to you. So the answer will be, so how we have calculated, these are the actually sport vectors, 2 by 4 and 4 by 7, 4 by 5. So these are the exact answers that we have actually derived from the this example, and hopefully you all are able to get this point. And there is another point is there. Yes, in this question, here you can see that in this question, okay, is it 24th? Yeah, 24th. Okay, now you have to tell me the what is the value of okay, the KNN classifier uses the K closest points for performing the classification. In a given example, what is the value of K considered to find the unknown report? Yes, anyone can tell the answer. This figure is given to you all. Yes, the answer is 3. Why it is 3? Because there are 3 uh, training sets we have considered while uh, defining the exact value of unknown trick code. So this one is exact answer. Rishabh, you are right. And there is another question is there. Scared mean. You just have to put it, apply the scared mean Euclidean distance formula, and you just calculate the values, and the exact values are there is 16. The exact value is 16. And in our next question, yeah, here we have already calculated in the 25th question. There is a 25th question is there. There is a 7 7, and this one is also calculated here. There is actual to 16, but in actual this figure actually belongs to the 26. So in this case, Yes. In this table, in a given example of Km, K and N, give the ranking to squared Euclidean distance on the basis of the minimum distance. Yes, you can just have to give the ranking, and it is hopefully it is very simple, and hopefully you have marked correctly. And this one is your one, and because it is a minimum distance towards the unknown record, and the second one is this, and this one is your third, and this one is your fourth. And on the basis of the minimum distance, you have just to give the ranking. So this is all about the question. Now, in a 27th question in a random forest, yes, in a random forest, which of the following parameter causes the overfitting problem? Yes, anyone can tell. The exact answer is actually a depth of tree. That is a little bit tricky question. There is no any impact of a learning rate in the random forest. Uh, while we are discussing about the overfitting problem, and again there is no impact of a number of trees. But yes, the depth of tree is actually creating the problems. And what do you understand by this depth of tree? And here you can see that this is just an example which is not actually belongs to this question. But yes, I'm just taking the example. And in this case, you can just, yeah, this one is a, we have just simply divided into the very specific form. There is a, we have just applied the two rules. There is a one rule is there is a second rule is there. And if we are further dividing this, you can just assume it here. We are just dividing further and further and further, and that is kind of a depth. We are just splitting the uh, splitting the space into the more number of parts. That is actually defining the depth of tree. So that is the most important impact on a overfitting problem. As earlier, as you know that in a decision tree, there is a problem of overfitting which can be easily resolved with the help of a random forest. And in a 28th, yes, this one is a 28th. This one is a 28th. In a given example decision tree, yes, this one is an example of a decision tree. Write the rules. Write the rules in a oval shape as per the outcome of the 2D model. Yes, you just have to define the models. You will so that you will get the. Okay, you have to 1 second. Yeah, you have to define the rules. You have to define the rules here, so that you will get the this kind of a circles and this care box. And in a first, what you will apply? There is again this one is a, you can apply it here. There is a x1. If it is greater than but you can say that. Okay, if it is a greater than 10, definitely. If it is not greater than 10, then it is definitely a 0. Here you can see that there are some circles are there, which is the less than, when x is less than 10, then or circles are there. Otherwise, there is again, if you are marking it here, x is greater than 10, if it is a yes, then there are two options are there. And in order to split these options, you have to use the x2. You have to use the x2 part. X2 part here is you can just apply it here. The x2, if it is yes, it is on square box. If it is a x2 is greater than w20, there is a w20, then you can just say it as this one is a square box. Otherwise, it is a circle. Then there is a simple concept. You have to do it. Uh, okay, and this is also a very easy question. In a given example, sport vector machine, what is the relationship between the Z1 and Z2 with respect to the margin? Yes, can you define the relationship between these two values? And it is very simple. there is a, you can write it here, there is a Z1, the margin. Basically, we are talking about the, with respect to the margin. So Z2 is, yes, very good, Aarti. The Z2 margin of the Z2, here we can just check it out here. You can check it out here. The margin, this is a kind of a margin. This is a margin and another margin is there. And here you can see that the width of this point and this point. The width of this point, there is Z2, is higher as compared to the Z1. So, okay, so we don't have any option. Okay, little bit. You just have to write it here. The Z1 is less than Z2. The option is there. The width of the Z1 is less than Z2. If you are saying that the Z2 is greater than, there is a, okay. If you are, if you are saying that the Z1 is less than Z2, or you are saying that the Z2 is greater than Z1, then both are same mean. There is no any difference between these two terms. Yes, hopefully you will get my point. Nikhil and Rishabh. Okay. Is it okay? Nikhil and Rishabh? Okay. So this option is not there, and okay, I will check it out. You no need to worry about it, Nikhil and Rishabh. I will just check it out here, and I will check it out this point, and then I will handle your query. You no need to worry about it. And at last, hopefully this problem is not with the Punjab campus students. So that's why they are not asking the question regarding that. But there may be possibility. There is a kind of problem for the SP campus students. And yes, the last point is there. The last question is there, which you see, and you just have to fill it here. The what is the actually output at this point? So it is very easy. Uh, so you can do it very easily. There is a each color is red. Yes, cherry and apples are there. You can just put it here, cherry and apple. If it is a false, that is all mangoes or orange are in a false box. In a true box, there are two options are there, cherry and false, and then you have to apply this operation. That is a shape. If it is a circle, then you can just put it here, cherry. Otherwise, you can put it here into the, there is a in, okay, is it a circle? Yes, you can put it here, cherry, and your end result will be cherry because it is belongs to the true. And this one is a false. You just have to ignore the false values. Okay, hopefully these are the little bit to little bit time consuming questions, which is equivalent to the 2 marks. And okay, yes, the last question is not clear. Okay, Aarti, just let me explain you once again. Yeah, Aarti, there is a question, what is the actual value of the output? And you can just put it here. Okay, this operation is very clear to you. There are some mixtures are there, which includes the apple, cherries, and orange or mangoes, whatever. Oranges, oranges are there. And is the color red? You just have to give the answer. Is it color red? And which kind of a fruits have red color? That is a cherry. That is, we can say it as a cherry and apple. But in this case, the false orange is there. So, is the shape is circle? As we know that the apple doesn't have a shape of a circle, but the cherry has a shape of a circle. So we can put it here, cherry here, and we can just put it apple on this side. And what is actually true? Though, so this one is a true. So we just have to follow this rule and you will get the cherry output. So hopefully you will get my point. If the question is that the shape is not equal to, that is, if the question is like that, if is the shape not equal to circle, then this one is your true and this one is your false. So according to that, your output will be apple at this point. So why we have to follow true and false? Because that is programmed. That is actually pre-programmed part. Basically, in this question, the main purpose is to understand these rules. So if you are able to understand these rules, you no need to worry about the what is the output and what is the input and what is the output. You can just select any number of the fruits and you can expect it here only cherry. So that is the main motive to understand this concept. Uh, if it is a problem, still problem is there, then you can just please ask me in elaborated form. So nothing was mentioned in the question that we have to mark the output of false and true. Okay, okay, okay. Fiza, you just 1 second. Please hold for a second. Yes, Fiza. There is okay. We are just following. Here you can see that in this figure, we are just splitting the true part. Why we are not splitting the false part here? So there is another question which is also not mentioned in the uh, mentioned in the question. So basically, the false which we don't have to follow, and which is a true whatever we have to follow. So that is the main purpose of this algorithm. So yes, please note it that if you are clear with that, there is a okay. If it is not clear, then you have to just take the different examples and you can just go through the this example is actually taken from the random forestry, and in a random forestry there are three different trees are there, and you can just check it out over there what is the actual output. So hopefully 1 second I will just show you uh, if I am not wrong. There is a random forest. Yeah, here you can see that. So in case of okay, basically, dear, you have to okay, you can ask the question here. So I have already explained you these three parts in under random forest, and that is actually a three decision trees. And yes, here you will just have to follow the true points, not the false points. So that is a concept of a decision tree which is followed in the random forest. So which is yes, still hopefully you will able to understand the concept. Yeah, there may be yes, there may be an error or there may be some kind of a validation. There may be errors, but here we are not talking about the errors. We are just if the options are very clear to us, and then we have to give the answer. The options are very clear. Uh, there are three fruits are there. There is a orange. Yes, there is a already also circle. And if I will just apply here, the if I will apply this is the shape is circle. We if I will put this rule is the shape is equal to circle in a first point, then at the end I will get hit here. There is on a true value. There is a cherry and orange. Then if I will apply the second rule, if color is red, then definitely I will get the cherry, because here I am applying the operation to get the cherry. So that is the main motive of this question, this program, because I am not here try to uh, design this program or creating these rules to collect the false information. I am here to collect the true information. So you just have to remember these kind of concepts. So your next essay may be a little bit more tricky. So you have to be aware of about all the examples, whatever I have explained to you. And if still is there any question, then you can ask. And hopefully you all have marked your attendance. And those who have marked their attendance and don't have any question, then they can leave now. I'm going to deactivate the link, attendance link. Okay. In future, you are requested to mention. Okay, Aarti, I will definitely mention there uh, the only true case. But actually, point is that uh, the others will not ask the other will not mark their true. You have to consider the true, because when you are going towards the road, and there is a you are following the Google Maps, it will show you the true path only, not the false path. You always follow the true path. So that is a kind of it is not actually this is not a correct way to mention there. You have to follow the true. That is a very obvious. You have to follow the true. That's why we are designing an algorithm. So, however, you just have to remember this case, and you can expect more tricky questions in Nested 2 as well as in the end term examination. Sir, Ikansh, okay, Ikansh, you have not marked your attendance. Uh, just wait for a second. I will just check it out. There is some problem in, okay. Yes, Ikansh, I have marked the attendance. Oh, sorry, I have activated the links. You can mark your attendance now, and you have only 2 minutes to mark it. And the link for the HP students have already been deactivated. Okay, wait. I will just give you the link. Yeah, hopefully, Kanch, you got the links. You just have to mark your attendance. Those who don't have any question and mark their attendance, they can leave the session now. Okay, fine, Ikansh. I'm going to deactivate the link. Okay, thanks a lot. You can leave now.